All right, now let's discuss this. We're now joined in studio by the president of the truckers in South Africa, Mary Phadi. Mary, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I mean, 14 trucks torched in the past 3 days alone. What do you think is really behind these attacks that we are seeing currently? I mean, many also suspecting that it could possibly be the involvement of fellow truckers.
I think these are the people that are trying to grab the attention of the government to be able to listen to them. It is a similar cases that we had 5 years ago where the truck drivers have been doing the similar thing. And it is very clear that the intention here is to make sure that the government respond to whatever concern that they have on the ground.
Now, just based on the frequency and also the method that these attacks are being executed. We just heard now from one of the mayors saying that this is economic sabotage. What do you have to say about that, just in terms of the modus operandi? I mean, some of these attackers are robbing the truck drivers themselves and then torching the trucks without stealing or taking any of the goods.
It is a similar concern that we have at Libombo border post, whereby our truck drivers are in danger. But in this case, they are not taking anything from the drivers. They are saying that they must step aside and they fire shots, and then from there they light the vehicle itself. So it is indeed economic sabotage, because they are well aware that those companies will not recover tomorrow. The loss of production in the freight industry is so critical in such a way that not only that you have a challenge today that have banned the truck, but there's a process in application to make sure that the insurance approves and pay back whatever money that you have lost.
Yesterday I was speaking to the CEO of the road freight industry, and they were actually saying that these attacks have been going on for now the past 5 years. What is of concern is that the routes where the attacks are occurring, these are economic hub routes, and yet you find very little visibility from the police. We did get confirmation, just today that in fact more personnel, police personnel, will be stationed at the various roads. Do you think this is going to be enough?
Look, I think everybody became comfortable when the task team was established by the former Minister of Transport, where we then took it upon ourselves that we'll meet on a monthly basis to address the issues on the 11-point plan. And because of that comfort, I think SAPS relaxed, because they didn't see anything that could be of a concern. And this came as a shock, because it surprised everyone. And now they need to restart again and try to make sure that everybody is safe on the road. But, operators have appointed their own security companies. We could have seen more of this challenge, but because of the safety of the drivers, that we've made sure that they are safe on the road, then they are protected from those private security companies to make sure that we look after the product that we are carrying, as well as the well-being of the driver.
Talking about the well-being of the driver, are any of these truckers part of your association? And fundamentally, how are they doing? Because a lot of the times we don't talk about just the mental well-being of some of these truckers. I mean, the attacks that happened at the weekend happened during a period that was extremely cold, and some of these truck drivers were removed from their trucks and they spent the night in nearby bushes. How are they doing? Have you managed to speak to some of these drivers?
They are very scared. And those that have not been in this situation, they're asking themselves as to how do we travel at night? What are we going to do? Who's going to attack us? What is next? So they are worried, because most of those drivers, they drive more than 300 kilometers. So indeed, all operators out there in South Africa, including our members, they've got challenges. They've lost trucks. They don't check which truck they ban at night. They just ban a truck, and therefore it affects everyone as operators.
And now earlier on, we spoke about, what some of these reasons of these attacks could be. And a lot of focus is turning to yourselves to ask, which side are you in? are you on? Are some of these attacks as an outcry to what some of your truck drivers have been saying in terms of employment-related issues in the country? You talk about, the task team that was formulated. It is disappointing to note that nothing fruitful has come from that. So as an organization, as an association, when you hear, just some of the sentiment that points to you about even xenophobic attacks against these truck drivers, what is your stand? What are you saying about that?
Look, they are repeatedly telling us one thing, that driving a truck is not a skill. And it has been confirmed by the Minister of Home Affairs when he was saying that last year everybody must do an application to prove to the Department of Labour and the Department of Home Affairs whether they can be able to employ a person outside the country. So we are sitting with the problem of a concern regarding the traffic register. It's on the list of the traffic, or it's on the list of the implementation plan, where truck drivers, it says these visa requirements, the traffic register is one of the things that has got a lot of flaws, and a lot of truck drivers that do not have even permits to drive are using it because they bought them somewhere. So it has been proven in this task team that we have picked up a number of a traffic register that has been issued unlawfully to the truck drivers. So those are the things that you can clearly see that as the task team, when we address them and suspend the traffic register with immediate effect, so that you can stop more people from registering at the traffic register, rather deal with those that we have and make sure that we deal with the issue of the crime in South Africa.
All right, does the solution that has been put on the table, particularly by stakeholders in the freight industry, the railway use, will that solve this problem? I mean, you and other stakeholders that we've spoken to are talking about elements of criminality. So how will then, using the rail system, which we know is not in the standard, the best of standards, to be utilized in this moment, how will that be the solution?
It will be very crucial because it will at least take 20% of the trucks off the road. And, currently there's a clear technology that can be used called Rail Runner, where the same companies will just, transport the goods to the nearest mine where you can be able to collect and deliver. So the sidings will be shorter. And a lot of companies will not lose work because instead of using the current rail wagon, you will convert them to the trailers that we are currently using. So it is very crucial that we address this matter and the government make sure that they come to the party to bring back the rail. As soon as we go back to the rail infrastructure will be back to normal.
All right, Mary, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Of course, we are in conversation with the president of the Truckers South Africa, Mary Phadi.